When you work from home, your desk rarely stays just a workspace. Over time, it slowly becomes a place where everything lands: notes, cables, coffee cups, kids' toys, filming gear, and papers you meant to deal with later. I know this feeling very well, especially as a mom trying to balance work, home, and sometimes creating content in the middle of everyday life. There were days when I sat down to start working and realized I had to clear space just to open my laptop. And that small frustration can quietly drain your energy before the workday even begins. So in this video, I want to share a calm and practical way to reset your home workspace. These are simple steps that helped me clear my desk, organize the things I actually use, and create a workspace that feels lighter and easier to work in. First, let's start with clear the entire desk. The thing I always do when my workspace starts feeling overwhelming is very simple. I remove everything from the desk. Not just the obvious clutter, but everything. The laptop stand, notebooks, pens, the little lamp I use for filming content. Everything goes off the desk. I usually place all the items on the floor or on a nearby chair or side table. The goal is to see the desk completely empty. For many moms working from home, the desk slowly becomes a place where things land during busy days. Kids' drawings, unopened mail, extra coffee mugs, camera accessories. When you remove everything, you finally see what the space actually looks like. The first time I did this, I noticed things I hadn't seen in weeks. There were coffee rings near the keyboard area, dust building up around my monitor stand, and small crumbs from the snacks I eat while editing videos. When everything sits on the desk all the time, those little things become invisible. So before putting anything back, I take a few minutes to clean the surface properly. I use a damp cloth and a simple wood cleaner to wipe the entire desk. I also clean around the edges and the corners where dust tends to collect. It only takes a few minutes, but it instantly resets the space. What surprised me the most was how different the desk felt when it was completely empty. It made me realize that I had been keeping far more things on my desk than I actually needed. At that point, I pause and ask myself a simple question: which of these things truly deserves a place on this desk for busy moms or influencers working from home? This small pause often becomes the moment where real decluttering begins. Now that the desk is completely clear, the next step is just as important. Now let's move to the next step called the collect everything method. I take time to gather all the work items that have slowly spread around the house. When you work from home, especially as a mom or a content creator, your workspace rarely stays in one place. Over time, little pieces of your work follow you everywhere. So I start by walking through the house and collecting anything related to my work. A pen sitting on the kitchen counter, my tripod that I left in the living room after filming, a notebook on my nightstand where I wrote down a late-night idea for a video. These small things seem harmless, but they slowly scatter your work life across the house. Once when I did this, I discovered I had 3 different planners in use at the same time. One on my desk, one in my bedroom, and one in my tote bag. I had been writing schedules in all 3, which made it surprisingly hard to keep track of my actual plans. I also found a small box of charging cables inside my son's toy basket. A few days earlier, I had brought my laptop to the sofa to finish editing a video while watching him play, and the cables never made it back to my desk. When I gather everything and place it all on the desk, the picture becomes very clear. Suddenly, I can see how many duplicate items I own: extra pens, multiple notebooks, random cables, half-used sticky notepads. This step is important because you can't organize what you can't see. When everything is scattered around the house, it feels manageable. But when it's all in one place, you start to notice patterns. For many moms working from home, this is the moment when we realize the clutter isn't just on the desk, it's quietly spread throughout the house. Once everything is finally in one place, it becomes much easier to see what you actually have. And very often, the next thing that needs attention is paper. Next, we'll look at the 3-pile paper method. When it comes to decluttering a home workspace, paper is often the quiet source of chaos. So the method I use is very simple. I divide everything into 3 categories. Keep, scan, and trash. I start by placing 3 small piles on the desk. Every piece of paper has to go into one of those piles. No maybe later stack. This simple rule helps me make decisions quickly, which is important when you're a busy mom working from home and you don't have hours to sort through paperwork. For example, when I look at receipts from things I bought for filming content, lighting equipment, craft supplies, props, I usually scan them into Google Drive and then throw the paper away. I realize that I almost never need the physical copy, but I do like having a digital record in case I need it later. The keep pile is usually much smaller. This includes documents that truly need to exist on paper, like certain tax documents, official forms, or a contract from a brand collaboration that I prefer to keep in a physical folder. These papers go straight into a labeled file folder so they don't drift back onto the desk. Then there's the trash pile, which honestly becomes the biggest one. Old brainstorming notes for videos I already filmed. Random checklists I wrote during busy weeks. Half-used sticky notes with reminders that no longer matter. When you're juggling work-home life and kids, these little pieces of paper accumulate faster than you realize. To make scanning quick, I use a simple scanning app on my phone. It takes just a few seconds to capture the document and save it directly into a folder. That one small habit has saved a lot of physical space on my desk. What surprises me every time is how quickly the pile shrinks. In about 15 minutes, the stack of paper that once looked overwhelming is usually reduced by more than half. And once the paper is gone, the desk suddenly feels calmer and much easier to work at. After dealing with paper clutter, the desk already feels lighter. But there's another category that quietly takes over the space, those small accessories we use every day. Now let's talk about decluttering desk accessories. One of the biggest changes I made to my workspace was learning to deal with the small items that slowly take over the desk. Pens, sticky notes, charging cables, USB drives. These things are tiny, but they multiply quickly when you work from home. So the first thing I do is gather all of them into one small box. I don't try to organize them yet. I simply collect every pen, every cable, every loose accessory from the desk drawers and even my camera bag if needed. Seeing them all together makes the situation much clearer. The first time I did this, I counted 12 pens, but when I tested them, only 3 actually worked. The rest had dried out or barely wrote at all. It was such a simple thing, but those useless pens had been sitting on my desk for months, creating unnecessary clutter. Charging cables are another common problem, because I sometimes work from different spots in the house. Editing a video on the sofa or replying to emails at the kitchen table, I often bring cables with me. Over time, old chargers from previous phones or devices start to pile up. If I no longer own the device, the cable goes. USB drives are similar. Before throwing them away, I quickly check what's inside. If there are files I still need, I copy them to my computer or cloud storage. Once the data is safe, the old USB can go. After sorting everything I keep, only a small container with the items I use regularly, maybe a few pens, one highlighter, and a charging cable I actually need. Everything else either gets stored neatly in a drawer or removed entirely. And just like that, the desk feels lighter again. With the small items sorted, I usually notice another source of clutter sitting right in front of me. Notebooks and planners that slowly multiply without us realizing it. At this point, we move to reduce notebooks and planners. For a long time, I believed having different notebooks for different purposes would help me stay organized. As someone who works from home and creates content online, I had a planner for my weekly schedule, a notebook for video ideas, another for random thoughts, and sometimes even a small notebook in my bag for ideas that came to me while I was out. At first, it felt productive, but over time, it created a different problem. My ideas were scattered everywhere. I would remember writing down a video idea, but I couldn't remember which notebook it was in. Sometimes I planned my week in one planner, but wrote deadlines in another. When you are balancing work-family life and creative projects, this kind of scattered system quietly adds stress. So I decided to simplify. Now I keep just one main planner for my schedule. This is where I write filming days, editing time, brand deadlines, and family commitments. Everything related to time and planning goes into that single place. Then I keep one separate notebook specifically for ideas, video topics, content outlines, or quick thoughts that come to me during the day. Because everything creative lives in one notebook, it's much easier to find ideas again later. The hardest part was letting go of the half-used notebooks. Many of them still had a few pages of notes inside. Instead of keeping the entire notebook, I simply scanned or photographed the pages I wanted to remember. After that, I recycled the rest. Now when I sit down at my desk, there are only 2 notebooks in front of me. And surprisingly, that small change makes my workspace feel much calmer and my thoughts feel clearer too. Once the number of notebooks is simplified, the desk already feels calmer. At this point, creating a simple daily system helps keep everything from slowly spreading out again. Next, let's explore the simple desk system. One thing that helped my workspace stay tidy was creating a very simple system for the tools I use every day. Instead of letting things spread across the desk, I decided that each item needed a clear place. I started with a small tray on the corner of my desk. Nothing fancy, just a simple container that holds the few tools I reach for constantly. Inside that tray, I keep only 3 things: a couple of pens, my headphones, and the small remote I use for filming when I record content. Before I did this, these items were always moving around. My headphones would end up on the chair, the pen I needed would disappear under a notebook, and the filming remote would somehow get buried under papers. None of it was a big problem on its own, but together they created small daily frustrations. Now the tray works like a small home for those items. When I finish using something, I place it back in that same spot. It takes only a second, but it prevents the desk from slowly becoming messy again. The same idea applies to the larger tools I use for work. My laptop always sits in the center of the desk. My mouse stays on the right side. My main notebook rests on the left. These positions rarely change. This consistency saves more time than people expect. When you sit down to start working, everything is already where your hands expect it to be. There is no searching, no small interruptions before you begin. At the end of the day, I take 2 or 3 minutes to reset the desk. The laptop closes. The notebook returns to its place and the small tools go back into the tray. Because everything has a home, the reset is quick and the desk is ready again for tomorrow. Now we come to organize drawers by function. Instead of letting everything collect randomly inside them, I decided that each drawer should serve a clear purpose. The first drawer is dedicated to papers. This is where I keep envelopes, documents that still need attention, and a small folder for important paperwork. Before I created this system, papers used to end up everywhere on the desk under notebooks or mixed with office supplies. Now they have one clear place to go. The second drawer holds basic office tools. Things like tape, paper clips, scissors, and extra pens all live here. These are items I don't use constantly, but still need from time to time. Keeping them together means I don't have to search through different drawers when I need something simple like a pair of scissors. The third drawer is where I keep small filming equipment. Because I sometimes create videos from home, I have small tools like a microphone, adapters, and memory card readers. These items used to sit on my desk or get mixed with regular office supplies, which made the desk feel crowded. To make the drawers easier to maintain, I added simple divider trays inside them. They're nothing special, just basic organizers that keep items from sliding into each other. Even small dividers make a big difference because everything stays in its section. The rule I follow now is very simple. Each drawer holds only the items related to its function. This means when I need something, I already know which drawer to open. There's no searching, no digging through mixed items, and that small clarity helps keep the entire workspace feeling calm and organized. Now let's talk about remove non-work items. When you work from home, it's very easy for the desk to slowly become a shared space for the whole family. At one point, I noticed that my desk had started collecting random things from around the house. My son's Lego pieces were sitting near my keyboard because he had been playing beside me while I answered emails. A few holiday decorations were still there from Christmas little things I had placed on the desk during the season and never moved afterward. None of these items seemed like a big deal on their own, but together they quietly turned the desk into a mixed space instead of a focused workspace. So I made a simple decision. If an item is not related to my work, it doesn't stay on the desk. The Lego pieces went back to the toy basket. The seasonal decorations were packed away with the rest of the holiday items. Even a few random household things like unopened mail and small packages were moved to where they actually belonged. In the end, I kept only 2 personal items on the desk, a small plant and a simple photo frame of my family. They make the space feel warm, without creating distraction. Once the extra items were gone, the desk immediately felt calmer. There was more space to work, and my attention wasn't constantly pulled toward unrelated things. As a result, filming videos, editing content, and focusing on tasks became much easier. Finally, we arrive at small content creation station. Since part of my work involves filming videos at home, I realized that my filming equipment was constantly moving around the house. Tripods would end up in the living room. The ring light might stay near the window where I last recorded. My microphone or cables would sit on the desk for days. Even though these items were part of my work, they quickly made the workspace feel cluttered. So I decided to dedicate one small corner of the room just for filming equipment. My tripod ring light and microphone now stay together in that corner. They are easy to reach when I need them, but they no longer take over the desk. I also keep a small, labeled box nearby for things like spare batteries, memory cards, and charging cables. Before this, I often spent 10 minutes looking for a memory card right before filming. Now I know exactly where everything is. The biggest benefit is how quickly I can set up. When I want to film a video, everything is already in one place. And when I finish recording, each item goes straight back to its spot. Because of this small station, my workspace stays calm and organized even when I'm actively creating content. In the end, I've learned that most workspace clutter doesn't come from big things. It usually comes from papers and small items slowly piling up over time. A receipt left on the desk, a pen that stops working, a notebook used for only 2 pages. None of them feel important in the moment, but together they quietly fill the space. What helped me the most was making quick decisions. Keep it, scan it, or let it go. Once each item has a clear place to live, a drawer, a tray, or a folder, the desk becomes much easier to manage. For moms working from home, our workspace is often shared with daily life. Kids, family activities, and work tasks all meet in the same room. That's why simple systems matter more than perfect organization.